Yo, this is Jordan Bell. Oliver playlist is now out. Follow me on all platforms at JordanxBell. And this is Ramusa's Media.
This is Ramusa Media. Today we're here with rapper Jordan Bell from St. Louis, Missouri. Bell has just released the Project Oliver's playlist, which is available on all streaming services. Having been affiliated with Smino and other rappers, he's built his own lane after having just come off tour. We've caught up with the MC to discuss a plethora of topics, and honestly, it's been long overdue.
Man, definitely.
And glad to have you here.
Nah, for sure, man. I'm happy to be here.
Really. So what are you rocking right now, clothes wise?
Oh man,
just curious.
I only wear like my merch. My brother actually started doing the merch for Smino, and that's how we connected. And then he started doing the merch for SZA, who's also a St. Louis native. So like he helped me design my merch, and that's all that I wear. Like now on.
Rewinding a little bit, what's your earliest memory of music?
Yo, I never tell anybody this, so like this is like an exclusive, but I had to make a song to graduate like high school. Like
class.
Yeah, like to graduate like school. It's like a crazy story. So like I moved to Atlanta, and basically like the school system is like totally different in Atlanta. So I was like way behind and stuff like that. So the schools were having like a rival rap video or something like that, and the whole school's running around like who can rap, and they're like Jordan can rap, and I'm like I'm not doing it, like it's a dub, like it's corny. But then one of the teachers, you know, I'm not gonna say names or whatever, one of the teachers put me to the side and was like, hey, like if you do this video, like I'll try to make up some extra credit or something like that. And it was finals, like it was final season, so I had like a 63, and then I ended up passing the class with like a 79, 78 or something like that. So I mean, you feel me? Ever since then I was like, yo, if rap can get me there, like rap can get me almost anywhere, you feel me?
What do you think that comes from in terms of like your family? Do you have a musical family?
Yeah, my dad is like rock star, you know what I'm saying? Listen to Pink Floyd, Green Day, then he'll switch it up and listen to Eka Mouse, Bob Marley. So I mean, I always grew up in like a musical house, and then my mom, obviously, like she just brought the soul aspect into the music. So that's where you could hear more of my mom influence in like Oliver's playlist, and then like more of my dad's, and like I made this on tour, or Yellow Gold, or like just the heavy, you know, bass and stuff like that. So
the Project Oliver's playlist,
yeah,
which just came out. Where were you at musically when you were making this project? Like what type of stuff were you listening to at that time?
Man,
while you were making it?
Realistically, I was really listening to just some like Pharrell, like NERD Pharrell, because I can't really like sing, but after listening to Pharrell like hold notes without actually having to be like a straight vocalist, like it showed me like, yo, like I could really probably make like a whole R&B type project, you know what I'm saying? And obviously like you can't go anywhere without listening to Drake, you know, you hear Drake everywhere, so that just kind of helped me develop my emotions a little bit better, like within the records and stuff like that.
So coming from such a diverse background of listening to a lot of different artists growing up, what do you think was the one factor that had you gravitate the most towards R&B and rap in terms of the genres that you're making?
As far as what?
Like, was there something, a particular rapper or a particular singer that you first heard and say, I want to make that genre, I want to, like, in spite of all the rock that you were listening to, and the R&B and the soul?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably like Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Kanye was like when I was growing up, he was dropping Late Registration, Graduation, you know, like the the solidified Kanye projects, and it was a step out of like traditional rap. You know what I'm saying? Like you had your Jay-Z's and your Camerons and stuff like that, but Kanye was kind of the one to actually like push the like variety of like subject matter, and he brought soul with like bringing more singers on records like Brandy and stuff like that. And I mean, I feel like that really influenced like my whole concept of music. Like when Ye first came out, it like did something. You know what I'm saying? It just did something crazy. And like back in high school and just throughout the years, people used to say I look like Kanye South, trying to make fun of me and shit like that. But it ended up working out in my favor because now like that's my favorite artist and everything.
So Jordan Bell, that's your real name?
Yeah, Jordan Bell is my government name.
So in the age where a lot of rappers go by monikers, you got guys like Lil Pump running around with Bird Trippie Red. What made you want to go and make music under your government?
Well, originally my rap name was JB the Killer, and I was very, very like ambitious and talented, and I was reaching out to all these different events and venues and people just to do shows and everything like that, and they were pretty much just telling me like, yo, like your name isn't marketable. And when I was rapping, it was at a time where like there wasn't like little suck your dick, you know what I'm saying, or little like it like your name could almost like hold you back from being as big as you want to be. So like I went by JB the Killer, and then I changed it to Jordan Belfort, which is the dude from Wolf on Wall Street. And then nothing was just really clicking for me, and then I was just like, you know what, like I'm gonna just change it to like Jordan Bell, and to make it easier to find, I just put an X, so it's like JordanxBell, and I play on it sometimes like Weezy F Baby, you know what I'm saying, JordanxBell, and the X is for whatever I want it to be.
So, well, what was the most difference that you found in between St. Louis and Atlanta,
like
musically,
St. Louis is very, very talented, but it's slept on. But not only is it slept on, but I feel like it's a quality that Atlanta has that I feel like a lot of different states and cities and towns and just need to adopt. Like Atlanta artists work together all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there are tons and tons of like St. Louis artists that are talented, but they're so driven on going down this road or going down that road that they don't necessarily work together. You have like not even that they work together, but you have like Childish Gambino and Brace Amigos. You know what I'm saying? Two totally different sounds, two totally different artists, but like he found a happy medium for them to come on like a TV show. Or you have Gunna and Lil Baby, and you have Thug and Future. You have all of these different collaborations coming out of Atlanta, and there are so many talented artists in St. Louis, but it's just kind of like a crab in a barrel type, energy. And I feel like the new St. Louis is starting to change that like a lot. I mean, and that's really like the biggest thing that I've witnessed in Atlanta is like everybody makes it because everybody supports everybody.
What would you say has been like your most memorable studio session in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, I've been in a lot of studio sessions in Atlanta. Probably, I mean, can I get back to that one? Cause
yeah, I mean,
I know I've been in a lot of sessions, and
it's
I mean,
just like the amount of hours put into a session. Like you may have been in one for hours. And
you're talking about for me? I thought you were talking about like person that I just ran into at the studio. Like how many people have I seen? For myself, I feel like the craziest session I had was probably like a 9-hour block, and I just recorded a project called Adult Swim with like one of my friends, and we just knocked like back to back to back, knocking records out just back to back. Like it was just raw like emotion. Like we just bouncing off of like ideas and energy. And that's when I was like first starting up too. So like I was like I was just trying to at that point I was just now finding my sound. Like the sound that I have today, like I think I really like solidified that sound on Adult Swim, and after that like took off and just been who I am ever since. But like honestly, man, like that session block is like, that was the first time that I just turned my phone off, just like zoned out and just recorded literally like a whole project in probably like a day. Like everything was created within that 9-hour block.
How often would you say you're recording in general?
Well, I have a setup at my house now, so I try to practice probably like one time every 2 days or so, like that. Like just to test my voice, just to play around. Like I practice all the time, just because like a lot of the songs that were heard on Oliver's playlist were like songs that like had references at first, and I just practice with my voice or like play around with like a particular like flow style or something like that, and then it'll just hit, and I'm like, okay, bet, like we can go this route now. You know what I'm saying? Or we can go that route now. Like it's just, so I'm in the studio. I try to go every day, but you know, realistically, like every 2 days I'll be in there at least once.
What is the number one thing that you've taken away from being in the music industry for some time now?
Yeah.
In terms of like your general thoughts on like the state of the industry today.
Yeah.
From your perspective.
From my perspective, like I feel like the industry is in a lot of ways it's better because you can connect directly to the fans. But the one thing that I feel like a lot of artists miss out on is that they focus too much on talent now, like, and not enough on the business aspect of it. Like, and that's as an artist, like, as far as the industry is running a business now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the music industry is more of a business. You know what I'm saying? Where you have people who come in the game with gimmicks or, you know, like different, you know, hairstyles or tattoos, or like it's some type of gimmick to get the people to adopt to them. And I mean, that's not an issue. That's a brand. So like one of the things that I've tried to like tell all my homies that rap, or like even for myself, is like make sure you brand yourself, because that's what the industry is looking for now. They're not necessarily looking for the most lyrical person, or, you know, the person that can rap the fastest or rap the slowest, or, you know, they're looking for a character in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people are naturally like, Jordan Bell is me, but that's also like somebody that people can relate to and adopt and, you know, feel like, oh, like, you know, Jordan Bell is not only like a character, but he's also like a person too. You know what I'm saying? You have artists like that. Like you have a Drake, you know, or a Kendrick, or, you know, somebody that like their real life correlates with their rap life. But at the same time, so many people are rapping that the major thing you need to do is brand yourself.
So is this advice that's been applied to your group Third Base? And can you tell me about how Third Base came about? Yeah,
so Third Base Machinery is actually my distribution. And it's really like just some people from St. Louis that saw the vision in me. Leonardo Chop, which is actually my biological brother, and he's the one who put all the plays together, and he just, you know, held the Third Base group together. They took some money and just put it towards like distribution for us, and we get 100% of our rights, like royalties and everything like that. So Third Base wants to see people make it out of, you know, poverty or St. Louis, or, you know, whatever situation you might be in. They're really for the music culture. They embrace they want more music out. You know what I'm saying? And they'll get their money, but at the same time, like, they want to make sure that the talent is like top notch from third base. It's like a TDE type feel. You know what I'm saying?
Apart from that, what is your status as an artist right now, label wise?
Oh, label wise, independent.
Fully independent.
100%.
Are you like looking for major labels? Have you taken meetings?
Yeah, I definitely take meetings. I take meetings, but I've been in a couple meetings and you can actually like learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like they put you on like a lot of like game at these label meetings, and I feel like I'm not in a position to sign a deal yet. I don't want to sign a deal until I have more leverage. You know what I'm saying? Like you never go out seeking the deal. You let the deal come to you, because if you're looking for the deal, they're gonna 360 you the whole way. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I mean, I've been in tons of label meetings, so I got like gems up here. Like, it's crazy.
What is the one thing that you've learned about your own recording process since Oliver's playlist came out? Is there something that clicked once that dropped?
Yeah, like one thing that like definitely clicked or resonated with me is like people actually like feel like emotion still. Like that was one thing that like I didn't really feel comfortable doing like on a record, is like telling a story about how like, you know, I really genuinely like this girl and she didn't necessarily look at me the same way I looked at her. Like that was one thing that I just like most of the time I'm rapping like, you know, wordplay and like but I'm not ever like diving deep into my emotions about like how I'm feeling, or I'm like expressing truly how I feel on a record. Like everything is gonna be like relatable because I'm a relatable person, but with Oliver's playlist, that's when I really like was like, okay, like let me kind of show people like that like I can get hurt, you know what I'm saying, that I can feel sad, or like, you know, be outside of a shorty's house, like, you know, waiting outside and she's not pulling, like she's not texting back type thing. Like, so I with that, like when I dropped that and people actually embraced it, that's when I was like, okay, like so, like I can do this, you know what I'm saying, like I can do both now, you know. And it's real rare that an artist can do like both, where they can make a club hit and then turn around and talk about something personal and people receive it.
Amongst your projects, Oliver's playlist, I Made This on Tour, your two projects from 2017 and 2016, what were you using to make these projects software wise, and do you find it easier to work with producers on that level who also use the same software? For example, if you use Logic, like you only want to work with producers who use Logic.
Nah, see, when I recorded Nothing Left, which was like the first project I dropped, 2016, that was like an emotional one as well. It didn't really do too well, but when I first dropped that one, I was recording in Adobe Audition 3.0, and that's
different.
Yeah, definitely different. Adobe Audition 3.0, and it just didn't have that. It just didn't have that sound that I needed. Like working with the producers, like the beats would just be off. Like some of the beats are louder than the others. Some of the beats are like, so it was hard because I would just get MP3 files. Like, because at that time I didn't even know how to mix like well at all.
Do you mix now?
Yeah, I definitely mix. So when Yellow Gold came about, my friend Nix was like, yo, like, I got this Mac, this speaker, and I think he like had like a keyboard or something like that. He was like, yo, he's like, I'll give it to you for $600. I was like, bet. So I got all that. He gave me all the presets and everything like that. I heard the quality of it, and then I was like, okay, like, and then I got Yellow Gold. Yellow Gold had like hella bass, so I went in there and just started playing around. I ended up mixing the beats like from like just from the channels, like the EQ channels and stuff like that. So I turn the bass all the way up. So if you ever play like Yellow Gold and like turn to the max, like your speakers will blow because they're like they're maxed out. So I did that, and then I realized like, yo, like it doesn't matter what producer sends me like beats, like as long as they send me the stems, I can pretty much go in there and just mix it. So ever since then, like I make sure that all my beats are like hidden. Like I like my beats to peak and stuff like that. That's just my particular sound.
Where does that like variety in your sound come from? I mean, you've done like these R&B, very R&B-esque records. You've done records that have a lot of like Spanish influence.
Yeah.
You've done like dance hall stuff.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff. Like, is there a certain lane that you found, or is it more just like I'm gonna explore all these different types of sounds?
Well, I've always like I've traveled a lot. So traveling a lot, like I picked up just a little bit everywhere. Like, you know, I went to Costa Rica, I was in Mexico, and then I went across the states. You know, when I went on tour as well, like I just pick up little pieces of like music that actually sounds good to my ear, and I apply it to my music just to see if it'll go. So it's not like I'm just throwing up shots trying to make sure one of them hits. I'm like actually enjoying the music that I make, and it's almost like a thank you to the people that showed me around in Costa Rica and in Mexico and in Detroit and in Philly and Chicago and stuff like that. Like it's like, you know, you guys influenced my music career, so I want to embrace your culture, you know, by making a song that's similar to your culture. So I know for a fact, like, you're gonna feel this one, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's my biggest thing, is like I just want people to feel it. Like, so like with the dance hall records and stuff like that, I want to be able to, you know, get my dance on if, like, you know, we at the club or whatever, we at like a Jamaican club or, you know, doing anything like that. I just want to enjoy myself, like listening to my own music though. I want everybody to feel comfortable.
Do you have ties to Jamaica, like in your family?
My whole life, I thought I did. I don't. Like, I have like tons and tons of homies that are Jamaican and stuff like that. But my dad smokes. So my dad, like, thought he was like Rastafarian one day. He was talking with an accent, probably like since I was like 7 all the way up until I was like 13, talking with like a Jamaican accent, like going crazy. So I'm like, bro, like I gotta have some like Jamaican heritage or something like that. Right. So like, and we grew up listening to so much, you know, Jamaican music, like, and my dad dives deep into it. So we're listening to Still Pulse, Eka Mouse, Bob, obviously, you know what I'm saying, like the Marleys and stuff like that. So it just had an influence on my life.
How does your family feel about your musical career?
So, my mom just found out that like I really rap for real after Oliver's playlist. Like, I didn't feel comfortable playing her anything because I grew up in the church too. So like I didn't feel comfortable playing her anything because it's like, you know, bet we fuck your bitch and where were you when I wasn't shit. Like, so it's like hella shit that's like vulgar as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like my mom's not about to hear this because like I just don't want her looking at me like some type of animal, you know? Like, I'm talking crazy on records. So,
but how does that feel?
What?
For her to
finally embrace it? Yeah. Yo, it's good. Like, it's an amazing feeling. Like, it's a feeling of accomplishment. Like, I feel accomplished. Like, yo, like, you know, my mom can actually like jam to my music now. Like, my mom's putting her friends on my music, like, proud, like, not saying like, you know, like, check out my son, and is embarrassed about it. Like, she's actually doing it because she genuinely, like, my mom just bought Apple Music just because like she wants to stream Oliver's playlist. Like, she's probably gonna cancel it soon, but like for now, like, she has it, so like she just wants to stream Oliver's playlist, and that, like, that alone is like, yo, like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a touching feeling that like your mom is actually approving something that you're doing that's against the grain. Like, I dropped out of college. You know what I'm saying? And like I went to do music, and at first she was just like, she just don't get it. But like her listening to it now lets me know like she's starting to get it. Like she's starting to understand it a bit.
What are you working on currently that we can expect?
Oh man, I've been working with like a lot of producers, like a lot of producers. So you can definitely expect tons and tons of features. And now that everything is out the way it is, like the way my catalog is set up, I want to go back and start shooting visuals for like almost everything. Not fully everything, but everything that I feel like people might kind of be confused about as far as like the songs. Like I want to kind of take them into my mind. So y'all can definitely expect visuals, tons and tons of visuals, because like I always wanted to like act in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought I was like Will Smith at one point, but I can't act for real.
If you could speak to your 18-year-old self today, knowing what you know now about music and making music, what would you tell him?
Man, I would tell him to probably drop out of college sooner. You know what I'm saying? Like pursue it sooner and work on your relationships. That's the number one thing in the industry is relationships. It's about leaving an impression on people. Like I've been in a room with like some amazing artists when I was like 18, 19 and stuff like that, just not saying anything just because like I'm afraid to jump.
Like who?
Well, I ran into R. Kelly. I was working at Journeys at the time, and this is way before allegations and anything like that. And like I ran into R. Kelly, and he was like, yo, like I only want him to help me. Like he was like, he only wanted me to help him. So I was like, okay, bet. Like I helped him the whole way, and then waited for him to leave to ask his manager like, yo, can I rap for Kels? And he was like, yo, like he just left, like he was in here for like 45 minutes, and then you wait for him to leave. And since then, like I was just like, man, like, and then like right after that, I think Ye had like a record with him on like Cruel Summer or something like that. And I was just like, man, like it was, I missed my shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean that happened. I ran into Chance the rapper one time, and I hit him for his email, got his email and everything like that, and I just put the email like in my contacts, and then like he blew up. But I never hit the email, you know what I'm saying? Just because I was just nervous to send the records. Like, and this was before, like this was like right before he dropped Acid Rap. He didn't even drop Acid Rap yet.
He was on that 10-day.
Yeah, he was literally on a 10-day wave.
Yeah.
And not too many people knew about him.
No.
Like, so when I peeped, I was like, bet, like, you know, I'm a link up with Chance, da 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 da. But then like I just wasn't confident enough in my music, so I would probably tell myself like, yo, like you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep following what you're doing because you got it.
Where do you hope to be musically in about a year?
A year, honestly, man, like I just wanna be paying my rent. You know what I'm saying? Living off of music. Like I feel like a realistic goal is like the best thing. You know, like so. Honestly, in a year, I don't wanna have to focus solely on selling merch as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? I want to focus on actually like making more money off of the music, because right now I'm balancing merch, music, and like, you know, other things. And like, so I would say in a year I could definitely easily see myself probably on a tour, headline tour.
If there's one song that you wish you wrote by any artist,
damn,
which would it be and why?
Damn, you really gonna do me like that, bro? It's so many songs. One of them, I can only pick one.
You can only pick one. It can also be your favorite song of all time.
Goodness, man. bro, Drake got so many good songs, dog. Like, and then you have, I might go left and pick The Evils by Sir. You know what I'm saying? No. I gotta go with Beautiful. Snoop Dogg and Pharrell.
Well, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta go with Beautiful.
Yeah.
That song is just a smash. Every time it comes on, like, you just know what's going on right now. Like, beautiful women, beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just get an idea of what's about to happen the second that you hear the beat. Like, I gotta pick that one.
If you could collaborate with any producer, would it be Pharrell?
Oh man.
Collaborate with any one rapper and one producer.
Oh man. So one rapper, one producer.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the St. Louis in me wants to say Metro and Nelly, but I can't even do it. I would have to go with
Nelly.
Yeah, I mean, just because he opened the door, like he opened the door. That's the only reason why. But one producer, I got it. I would do me. No. I was about to say me, Dr. Dre, and Kendrick, but Kendrick and Slaughter is so crazy that nobody would even think of me. So I would have to go with a song produced by Pharrell with Drake on it, because nobody's ever heard it, and I'm pretty sure Drake will like flow on there. I mean, he did like the Lemonade remix, but he hasn't had like an official Pharrell record, so I feel like that'd be crazy.
Speaking of other artists, having been on tour with established artists like Smino,
Yeah.
and being around these people, being in the game for some time, what advice do you have for artists who are just now starting to make music and are possibly even thinking about moving to Atlanta to pursue that dream?
I would say you don't necessarily have to move to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, I encourage people to come to Atlanta. Like, you know, it's tons of things to do in Atlanta, but I don't feel like you necessarily have to move to Atlanta to network in Atlanta. Like, and I feel like something that I learned was your fans are so like important. You know, going on these tours, whether it be my own or whether it's, you know, shadowing, you know, my brother and Smino's and like Scissor the Control Tour, it's like your fans literally are the most important thing that you could ever like have. Like, I've seen Smee like after shows like just sit and just talk with his fans, you know, for 30 minutes, like tired, you know, full of like straight tired, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen like, you know, SZA like just let like 4 more people into the meet and greet. You know, they just waited the whole day to meet her, and she was like, just come on, like take pictures, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that right there is like probably the most important thing that you could tell like a young rapper coming up is like make that impact. Like, make sure that your fans or your friends or your supporters or whatever they want to be called have a lasting impression of your show or your event or whatever you did. They're there to enjoy themselves, you know what I'm saying? So make sure that they get what they came for, you know? And that's probably the biggest thing that I'll take away from anything I've ever been, is make sure that they have the time of their lives.
This is Ramusa Media. This is Jordan Bell.
Yeah.